Today on WBTV, we're going to be looking at the big PS5 announcement today. They did a 3-hour live stream with a lot of games. Just games on top of games, but we eventually finally got the console, and not the console, and some of the cool things that are coming out. So we're going to be getting into it right in this video. Okay, so this was a video that we weren't really expecting to be making today. We actually pushed back the video that was supposed to come out on Friday, so we could give you this one.
Oh, we're pushing it back now, okay.
So you'll see that video on Monday.
Blake's top 5 movies, it's on the back burner. It's not a priority. It doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah.
PlayStation 5. Oh, wow. I see it how it is. Wait. I see how it is.
So Sony did a 3-hour live stream today, 2 hours and 45 minutes, where they announced a whole bunch of games. Now, I don't know how I feel exactly about the live stream. I kept on tuning in, trying to hear about the console, and it was just all about the friggin' games, and I was like, I'm sorry, but Sony, I love your exclusives. You got good exclusives, but people don't care this much about the friggin' games. You gotta chill out.
Yeah, it was like when Xbox did the reveal, and all it was 30 minutes of gameplay, and it's like, this is what Xbox Series X is gonna look like.
Yeah.
But
at least they were revealing new games. Like when Xbox did that 30 minutes of gameplay, those were old games, games
True.
that run on old consoles, and I was like, one, nobody wants to see gameplay of a game they've already played, and two, nobody wants to see gameplay of a game they've already played that looks better, but they can't pay for it to look better yet. So before we get into the games, we're going to talk a little bit about the console. So first, let's get into the appearance. We're pretty close. We guessed pretty close. We said there was going to be some blue accent lighting on it. Obviously, it was going to be following the same black and white color scheme as the controller.
Yep.
And one of the things that people are talking about is the fact that the console is actually standing up in the demo. But this is a thing that I am a little bit speculating about, but this is all speculation. But if you look at the picture, there's a little black kind of cup stand around the bottom of it. So I think that this is a detachable stand, because even if you look at the demo, the release for the PS4 and the PS3, they're standing up as well. All of their consoles, whenever they take a picture of them, they're always standing up on their side.
Exactly. I feel like that's just how they reveal it, and it's a lot more grandiose, and I feel like the way they built the console, it looks a lot cleaner standing up vertically, where if they put it flat down, it would literally just be a square. It would be a box. But here, They get to show off the fan, they get to show off the lights, they get to show off the cool white siding and the black middle. Looks like a little book. Looks like a little sandwich. You know?
The Wonder Book, the PlayStation Wonder Book, the Book of Spells, folks. So yeah, I really like the fin idea that they got going here.
Yes.
I think it looks kind of cool, and I also like they showed a little clip in the video. There's there's a texture along the outside of on that white piece. I don't know if that's just for the video or if that's actually what it's gonna be like, but I think that texture would be cool because it'll give a little bit more interest on the outside there than the PlayStation itself. As Blake pointed out, looks like there's one USB port on the front.
Yeah, as I pointed out before the video, we see the one USB port in the front and then a headphone jack as well. So hopefully that doesn't mean, and a disk drive on the non-digital exclusive one. But hopefully that doesn't mean there's only one USB. Hopefully we still have a couple of USBs on the back. But with one USB being in the front, that it does make it more convenient if you're playing while charging the controller, right?
Yeah.
Instead of having to dig your hands behind, plug in a controller, and then your cord not being long enough, it's just plug it right in the front, plug your controller in, go back and sit down, right?
Yeah. So that was another thing, was talking about digital editions. Earlier this week, there was speculation about how people were talking about earlier this year that there might be a second edition to the Xbox. So there'd be the Xbox Series X, and then there'd be like the Xbox Series S and the Xbox Series J or something. They would all be different letters, but they think that these are not going to come out. Yeah, I do really like the idea of a digital edition. Obviously, because the digital edition, it actually looks better than the one with the optical drive.
Because if you look at the original design, it's like they added in the disc drive almost like after. Like they didn't build the console to make it symmetrical with the disc drive. It's like down the side it's straight, and then the disc drive is just like a weird curve.
Kind of hump off the side.
It is not as flattering as the nice symmetrical, clean, no like massive square hole in it. So. Well,
and then obviously too, like if I'm just speculating here as well, but I would believe that the one without the disc drive would probably be cheaper because the optical drive itself costs more to install, and it probably costs more plastic to create that lump and everything. So it's like, well, if you could save some money and buy a cheaper PlayStation without a disc drive or without an optical drive, or say you had one PlayStation already with an optical drive and you wanted a second one to put in a different room in the house, but you didn't need an optical drive, like that's a real push factor. Plus, like, I have like 2 games on disc for my PS4.
Exactly. It's the same thing with me on my Xbox. Like, 1 game on a disc, and I think it's literally like Minecraft and Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Those are the 2 games that I got right when I got my console on disc, like 3 years ago for my Xbox One. And ever since, I've just gotten everything digitally. So.
Well, and especially too with them like buffing up PlayStation now that it has like Spider-Man on it and it has all the Uncharted games on it, like, and it actually runs decent. I definitely think digital is going to be a bigger option on PlayStation coming up.
See, the one downside I will say is, yes, in terms of games, I do not use my disc drive for crap, but I actually don't really use a DVD player or like a VHS player or a Blu-ray player. My Xbox, or probably you use your PlayStation as well, it kind of works as like a movie player as well. You can put a disc in, and getting the digital one, now you can't use your PS5 to play movies and insert discs.
Yeah, and I guess, and that was a feature that they talked about in the live stream, was full 4K Blu-ray, so I guess you'd be losing that. But as well as the consoles themselves, they announced a couple cool accessories. So they announced the HD camera, which is honestly, it shoots 1080p. So, PlayStation cameras in the past have been pretty garbage.
I mean, yeah, if you compare video game console cameras, they haven't been the greatest. Like, I know the Wii's crappy sensor, the Xbox Kinect was terrible. PlayStation Move, PlayStation cameras, like, I didn't own one myself, but I played using them, and they aren't the greatest. They kind of bug out quite a lot.
I mean, like the PlayStation camera itself, when it first came out, it was only made to track the Move controller, so it was just made to be sensitive to bright lights. So when it tries to take a picture, it doesn't really do the greatest job, especially in low lighting. So that would be cool, like, especially because you can get really good webcams, and now they have the create button on the DualSense. You might be able to stream gameplay with a face cam straight off your PlayStation without any like OBS or anything, which would be pretty cool. You introduced the Pulse 3D wireless headset. So I was a little bit like, oh, okay, what's the big deal about this? Until I started reading about it. So they said that it takes the place of the PlayStation Gold wireless headset, which used to be their old headset, and it offers 3D audio. So while you're wearing the headphones, it will sound like stuff is like in front of you, or
Oh,
behind
so surround
you,
sound
or like
is what
around
you. Mean
you.
by 3D
Yeah.
audio.
Or like above you, because normally you can get surround sound with a surround sound speaker setup, but normally with headphones, it's very difficult to get that.
Well, I know specifically with Dead by Daylight, like my Xbox headphones already kind of do that, where it's like they only play audio in like the back left the headset or like the right headset.
Yeah.
Like
there's certain limitations with like because normally it's just right and left, but I think this one's gonna have like front and back. I think it has like a vibration in the top for playing and stuff like that. So this is just a thing that they've been talking about for a long time, especially the 3D audio with the PS5. They told people to watch the stream with headphones because they said the audio is something that they've really been focusing on. So it has a dual microphone on each side, and then it's like noise canceling. So like sometimes, you know, when you're wearing like a crappy microphone, you'll get like a hum in the background or stuff like that. So
or specifically in my room, I have a fan, and my headset likes to pick up the fan or like people yelling out of my room. You're saying like the microphone won't pick up on that? It's more of like a direct microphone?
Yeah, it should only pick up your voice. Other than that, not much different with the media remote, other than it's just a media remote. So the dock is actually really interesting. One, because I really hope they ship this with the console, because this would be so awesome. Like, docks are awesome for controllers, like if you have a dock that fits both your controllers, but we've never had like a first party dock on PlayStation. PlayStation has never made like a dock. They've made a charging cable, and they've made like a rest to put your controller on, but they've never made like a charging dock that's specifically PlayStation. And the other thing is, if you look at the way that the controllers are sitting on the dock, they're sitting on the dock with like this part of the controller here facing down, so the dock is here, but the charging port on the DualSense is up top. So there must be some sort of like magnetism or like proprietary thing that's built into the controller that allows it to charge sitting on the dock that way, without, because normally like when you get a dock you have to put like some sort of like adapter or something on your controller. So there must be, hopefully, well, it looks like there's something already built into the controller that allows it to work with this dock, which would be very interesting.
That's interesting.
Obviously, we have no idea what the price is of these products, what is shipping with the console in a bundle in holiday 2020. But that's just the kind of the summary of the main, you know, the basic lineup PlayStation has had since the PS3 and the PS4. So I guess we'll look at some games quickly. But before we do that, I guess we'll talk about final thoughts on hardware. What are your final thoughts on that?
I mean, overall, I think the PlayStation looks really nice, really sleek, and I think this is the best design we've seen out of all of them. Honestly, it's the cleanest, it's the most sleek, like, and it's a very modern look to a console. I'd say so as well, right? Like, it doesn't look clunky or uselessly unnecessarily big, right?
Yeah.
Like the Xbox's massive thing, or like you see in the GameCube or the original Xbox, right? They're just huge consoles, right? So
it's almost like an improvement on the PS3, because the PS3 was like, or at least the OG PS3 that I have, was like that kind of had that like cool futuristic like curve design, and then they kind of went more simple with the PS4, I think, because of all of the issues they had with the PS3. But now, I mean, I'm all up for trying new things, so
yeah,
I'm very happy. I do like the color scheme. I'm liking the color scheme of the white and the blue and the black.
I mean, yeah, because all the previous consoles have been solely black with a blue accent, right? So this white is a really nice change, a really nice mix-up.
Yeah. And of course, you know, we haven't seen any Spider-Man controllers yet, or Spider-Man consoles, but I mean, I'm sure they'll be to come, folks. So moving into the games, we have Resident Evil Village. So this is the 8th installment in the Resident Evil series. It's a direct sequel to Resident Evil 7. Trailer, which will be in the link in the description, shows a whole bunch of scary stuff, but little is shown about the story and exactly what is going on at the moment. This is kind of the theme for most of these games. We don't know much about the story, but we kind of just got a little bit of a sneak peek at gameplay and different things.
I didn't watch the 3-hour gameplay trailer reveal show-off thing. I just saw a couple tweets, I saw a couple posts and articles about the games coming out, and specifically the one game I'm really excited for is a new Ratchet and Clank game. I've always been a fan of Ratchet and Clank games and loved Ratchet and Clank games, even though I've never had a PlayStation and never really been able to play them.
Ratchet and Clank The Rift. It is supposed to... The Rift Apart.
It's Rift Apart.
Yeah,
Wait, it's not The Rift.
That's some Dead by Daylight coming in over there, the Rift. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. They showed the gameplay demo here. The event showcased and expanded the graphical capabilities of the PlayStation 5, and it not only proved that the series still has some life in it, especially in this new portal to this new system. We might see more life in the Ratchet and Clank series than we've ever seen before. So that's very interesting because Ratchet and Clank, it's been a game it's kind of been dead for at least the life of the PS4. We never really saw a Ratchet and Clank game since the PS3, and most of them came out on the PS2. So we haven't seen a ton of life in this series, but reviving a classic game from the PS2.
Actually, I think they did come out with one game on the PS4. I think it was when the movie came out, right? In 2017, 2016.
Oh, yeah.
I think they came out with the movie game.
Yeah, that's right. Because it was free on PlayStation Plus 1 month, I think. So it's interesting to see when they port older games to newer consoles and kind of breathe some new life into them. And don't get me wrong, this is not a copy of a game from an older console. This is a brand new game, but it's just it's probably going to be a lot better graphically and demanding. I mean, the PS5 has a pretty decent SSD. It's the fastest SSD for a console ever. So that'll be, the PS3 was plagued with crappy load times. So it's good to see they're finally adapting some snappy memory in there. Here's another cool thing, Project Athena. So a few weeks ago we saw the Unreal Engine 5 demo, which actually looked like amazing. It looked awesome. The way the game looked, the textures look real. They say they're allowed to port cinematic textures into a game to make it actually look like you're watching a movie and cutscenes. But we were told today that those scenes from the Unreal Engine 5 demo, were from this unnamed Project Athena, which is a PlayStation game that they're working on, designed exclusively for the PS5, designed to showcase all the PS5's power and showcase Unreal Engine 5. The project is called Project Athena for now. We saw a very, very short teaser in Unreal Engine 5 demo, and we will hopefully see more about the game coming soon. But it seems like it's a bit of an adventure game, considering from the clips that we saw in Unreal Engine, they seem to be kind of like a temple. So I know maybe it's like another Uncharted game, because that's kind of what Uncharted was. So we'll have to see about that one. I just found that interesting that we finally got a tie from Unreal Engine 5 to the actual PlayStation 5 now.
Another big game also that we found out about, that people have been speculating about that will happen, and Wade also mentioned the series earlier, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
We got a Spiderman Miles Maralous game.
Yeah, so Spiderman Miles Moralous will launch with the PlayStation 5. So it'll be a launch title for that, folks. So that's been announced officially. The hit PlayStation 4 game Spider-Man is being adapted into seemingly exploring what happens to after Miles Morales officially becomes your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. So this must be like years in the future, or a couple of years in the future. at least like 10, maybe 15 years since the other Spider-Man game. So, but you know, the character was not the thing that made that game so amazing. It was the gameplay, like flying around as Spider-Man, the fight scenes as Spider-Man. The gameplay was awesome in that game. Like it was unbelievable. I never, and the fact like how open the map was of New York and how like realistic it was, that was really cool. So I'm not even like, you know, like, oh, I wish it was like Spider-Man sequel at all. Like I'm just like, you know, just give me more of that gameplay. Like I don't really care like what the story is. I'm just like, oh, give me more of that gameplay.
I mean, I'm sure Miles will probably like, they're in story-wise go to Peter for like guidance at some point, since he is the older Spider-Man and he's been doing it for so long. Yeah. Right? So.
Yeah, and I'm sure, like, you know, spoiler alert for those who haven't played the game, but like, you know, Aunt May dies at the end of the game, so.
Oh no! Wait, I haven't played it yet. Why'd you spoil it?
So you know, like I mean, you know, a lot of the bad guys die at the end of the game too. All the bosses die. So like, there's not much other than Spider-Man and.
Mary Jane?
Yeah. Spider-Man and Mary Jane are probably the only two characters you would see ported from that over to this one. Maybe Yuri. Poo poo pee times.
Sure.
Poo poo pee times, Yuri. Gotta go take a poo poo. I think that's a good spot to end it.
What about the other games? Wait, we're not ending it there. We're also seeing a new Oddworld game, and Oddworld is like a PlayStation series that's been around since PS2, PlayStation, the original PlayStation. That's interesting.
We are seeing Gran Turismo is back. Gran Turismo 7 will be coming to the PlayStation 5. That's like Forza for PlayStation. And Grand Theft Auto 5 is coming to the PS5. So a lot of people were speculating about the announcement of Grand Theft Auto 6 or GTA 6. But all they have said now is the game is going to be expanded and enhanced and then brought to the PS5, ported to the PS5. Then Horizon Forbidden West. So this is the follow-up to Horizon Zero Dawn. The following game watches the hero as they trek westward in what looks like a grand adventure. So, like, we don't know much about the plot line, but it looks like it's following the same hero from Horizon Zero Dawn, and it's going to be a continuation of where Horizon Zero Dawn left off. That's one game I haven't played yet, but I feel like I would enjoy.
I mean, wasn't there also more gameplay on Last of Us 2?
There was gameplay on Last of Us 2. You know, but everybody kind of, that wasn't a big, you know, announcement.
Yeah, Last of Us 2, we've known for a while it's going to be coming to PS5, and we've known that Ellie's the main character.
Yeah.
So.
And then there was one more game called Returnal. This was the one trailer that kind of stuck out to me. And I was like, oh, I want to play that. I don't know much about the game, but it's the latest game from House Marquee, the company that made Resogun at the launch of the PS4. So they haven't made a game since the launch of the PS4, but it seems to be about a pilot who has crash landed on a planet and has to fight for her survival. But if she changes in any way, she dies. So there was like some sort of thing about like the planet has like some sort of like supernatural thing that's like trying to change her, but she has to like stay the same way that she is and like fight the planet. Which, I mean, it kind of seemed like a little bit Detroit Become Human-esque almost, which is what kind of intrigued me a little bit.
I think that's a little bit of a stretch.
I mean, I was talking about like the gameplay. The gameplay itself seemed kind of like Detroit Become Human, not the story, but like, you know, very like choice-based gameplay, and not like a lot of, you know, fighting. Doesn't really seem to be a lot of like an adventure game.
See, the way you described it as landing on a planet, I initially thought it was like free roam, an open world, but no, it's more of like a linear.
Yeah,
story.
like a story game, but it's not like Uncharted where it's like the story takes you somewhere and then you have to like look around.
So that's what you mean, Detroit Become Human.
Yeah, it's more of like a movie kind of thing, and you just kind of are along for the ride. And other than that, you know, Sackboy Big Adventure, big game. I've been waiting for this for years. me and my boy from Little Big Planet
died, man. I'm sorry. Little Big Planet 3. I heard nothing about that game, and the only thing I heard about that game was bad things.
So that's pretty much it, folks. So the point of this video was to be a summary for those of you who didn't want to watch the 3-hour live stream. I
mean, clearly we missed a ton of more games. I didn't watch the 3-hour live stream, but we got the main ones. So
yeah, we're just trying to get the big ones down in here. So
wasn't there like a God of War?
I think there might have been, or at least like a teaser maybe. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this episode of WBTV. Leave a comment down below what you think of the PS5 compared to the Xbox Series X, and if you're gonna buy a Zop box or if you're gonna go for the PS5. So leave a comment down below. Also tell us you know, if there's a game that we didn't talk about that you thought was cool. Go ahead and tell us that down below. I'd be interested to check that out. Like, comment, and subscribe. Share it with your family. Share it with your friends. Share it with the guy at Freshco. You know, this video was not a shit take. This video was the shit take. And we will see you guys in the next video.
Thank you guys for watching WBTV. If you want to see more videos like this one, click the video on the right. If you want to see skits, click the video on the left. And make sure to click that subscribe button so you don't miss a single video.